Hey guys, it's Ty with Ty the Dog Guy on the Daily, and I want to talk to you about my root canal. So tomorrow I go in for a root canal. I've never had one, and in fact in my life I feel lucky that I've only had one cavity. And I think that cavity was 18 years ago. I don't know, I think I was a teenager when I had that cavity. And so what happened is, all those years ago, I had the cavity, and it got a filling, you know, as you do with a cavity. I didn't think about it for probably 18 years or 20 years or 15 years or however long it's been. I don't even remember now. And so what's happened is, as time has gone on, you know, around that filling in the back of my mouth, you know, the tooth to a degree has started to decay. Now I'm told that this, you know, can happen. You know, this is normal. And so it's probably something that's been going on for a long time, and I just simply didn't notice it. You know, and maybe every now and then I'd be drinking a cold drink, because as I go back in my mind, you know, I think, you know, when did I start to notice the pain? And I have like these brief memories of, like, you know, maybe even as long as a year ago, like drinking a cold drink and like, that kind of hurt. But then it didn't hurt anymore and I didn't think about it. Or maybe drinking a warm drink or eating something too sugary and, you know, and like feeling something, but every now and then suddenly, like, you know, one day out of the blue, not too long ago, I'm just in enormous pain. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to do something. You know, I've got to act now, because this is hurting like crazy. And so sure enough, I acted now, and, you know, went to the dentist, and dentist told me what he told me. Hey, you've got, you know, around your filling is where it's starting to decay a little bit, so you need a root canal. And so I'm going in tomorrow, a little bit terrified. The idea of needles on my gums is driving me nuts, and so I'm not looking forward to this at all. But where I'm going with this is, I see a lot of folks, this is exactly how things go with their dog training endeavors, or their dog ownership endeavors, maybe I should say. So what I mean by that is, they're going all along in life, and little things occur with their dog that they don't recognize the significance. So I didn't recognize, you know, that a little bit of tooth pain every now and then, you know, I didn't even like notice it. Or I did notice it, but like I didn't attach it to any meaning. And so many dog owners are like this with their dog, that, like, you know, their dog's fine, you know, maybe for the most part, he's not chewing things up, he's not destroying things, he's not peeing in the house. But he pulls on the leash. They don't like it, but, you know, they don't do anything about it. It's just, you know, it's just something that they deal with a little bit on a walk. Their dog's fine, you know, he's not like eating the couch, but, you know, when somebody rings the doorbell, he flips out and he's out of control. And that's like drinking that hot beverage, and little spot of pain, but you know, you kind of ignore it, because you go back to the rest of your everyday life and everything else is basically okay, right? But what's happening here is, what so many folks don't realize is, because they don't have control in this setting, because they don't have control in that setting, because the dog's not doing this well, because the dog's not doing that well, 90% of that dog's life might be fine, he might be well behaved, but the 10% there, the little bit that's, you know, annoying them or isn't up to snuff, is gradually eroding. And it's eroding that tooth, you know, it's eroding that dog's behavior, to the point to where it's not uncommon for us to get somebody to call us and say, oh my gosh, have we got a problem? You know, our dog, he's such a sweetheart, but now he's getting aggressive. And then if we start doing some diagnostics there and looking back into the past, we can start to see these trends, like, yeah, he wasn't, you know, he's pulling on the leash. And they weren't connecting that to any sort of aggression, but they weren't realizing that by pulling on the leash, the dog wasn't paying attention, the dog wasn't having focus, the dog was getting in a chaotic state of mind, and it wasn't a huge problem until it became a problem. Or, you know, and again, like I say, we can dig through the past and we can start uncovering, this is where this happened, this is where this happened, and because of this, and because of this, and because of this, now we've got that aggression, or we've got that anxiety, or we've got that destruction. You know, and what the person sees is like, one day my dog is different. But, you know, what the dentist with me saw was, no, this has been happening for a little while. And what we as the dog trainers see with the dog is like, no, this has been building up for a little while. You know, it's not something that just happened. It's something that's been building up. The dog's entire baseline was off, but the reality is most of his life he was living in a way that was manageable, so you didn't really care. just like with my tooth, most of it was manageable and fine, so I didn't care that every now and then I felt like a little sharp twinge of pain until that one day when I really cared and I got to do something now. So, it would be really stupid of me to not do something now. Now that everything I drink hurts me like crazy, now that everything I eat, I'm feeling it back there. If I did nothing now, I would be the biggest idiot in the world. But I'm only a slight idiot for not having paid attention to it for, like I say, probably months when it was building up and I was doing nothing about it. And so it's the same with our dogs. If your dog is having behavior problems, that doesn't mean that one day you're going to find yourself with a ton of pain. Not every little tooth twinge turns into a root canal. And not every little bad behavior turns into a huge one. But huge bad behaviors don't just pop out of nowhere. They always start with small little choices that your dog makes that are bad choices that turn into more bad choices, that turn into more bad choices, that turn into bad states of mind and all sorts of stuff. So my encouragement to you is don't let it get there. You know, if you've got the root canal right now, if your dog is being aggressive, don't be stupid. Get help, whether it's us or some other trainer, get help. But if you're not at that point, and your dog's just kind of slightly doing some stuff, don't allow it to get to the point. You know, put in that effort now. Go to your checkup with your dentist, which is going to be, you know, go to your local trainer, come work with us. Grab that book, grab that DVD course, whatever. Start working with your dog so you can head off problems before they actually turn into problems. So no one likes a root canal, and no one likes a huge dog training program to fix a problem that could have been solved before, you know, using a lot less, you know, when the problem wasn't so big.